The Fall of the House of Usher is Mike Flanagan's latest horror drama miniseries, this time an adaptation of the works of Edgar Allan Poe. It focuses on the wealthy Usher family, whose heads made some choices back in 1980 that have come back to haunt them. Mike Flanagan's latest is yet another twisted, dramatic, horror-thrilled winner. While it fails to reach the heights of some of its previous shows, it's still very enjoyable and fun throughout. The first episode is perhaps its weakest, because the purpose is still unclear at that point, but once it hits its stride and the formula and point of the show is established, things really pick up. Each episode puts attention on one of the Usher family members, the work they do, and the lifestyle they live. Suffice to say, each of them is entitled, spoiled, horrible, and a little unusual in some way or another. They're not the most likeable of people, and this makes the show hard to invest in throughout its run. By focusing on such horrid people with very little redemption, it's tough to care about anything that happens to them. However, the cast, which is a stupendously brilliant ensemble of famous names and faces, and as essentially a who's who of Flanagan go-tos, managed to bring each of these characters to life in impressive ways, even if they come across as outlandish characters at times more than actual people. Bruce Greenwood is great as the aging patriarch, losing touch with it all. Mark Hamill is fantastic as the mysterious and brooding lawyer. Mary McDonnell is good as the woman behind the man, calling the shots and getting whatever she wants. Each member of the cast deserves some sort of praise, and I'd be here all day praising them. The horror of the Fall of the House of Usher is intriguing, and it mostly works. Often enough, the horror lacks much in the way of brains or originality. There aren't many jump scares, nor is there much tension. Instead, horror is established via unusual aesthetics and characters saying or doing something unexpected. The horror is more about the idea of something horrid rather than the actual act or saying something horrid. Although there are some grisly, twisted, gory moments which some might find a little too much. Describing the show as fun also points out one of its flaws. Tonally, the show is a little all over the place at times. There is dark horror, there is morbid drama, there's also twisted comedy, outlandishness and more. The show tries to do a little bit of everything at the risk of everything else. It mostly works, but when some of the scariest moments can also be seen as some of its funniest moments, it shows that the balance isn't quite right, or the results aren't quite as effective as they could have been. The Fall of the House of Usher is another good, enjoyable Mike Flanagan miniseries. It doesn't quite reach the heights of some of his best works, but it also doesn't become one of his worst either. It's fun, it's sometimes scary, it has interesting but unlikable characters, and it plays with tone and expectations throughout its run. It doesn't always nail what it's going for, but that's okay because it's always engaging and enjoyable regardless. In short, it's Succession meets horror.